Hello everyone, for today's video I have a moveset that's comprised of attacks that you may have forgotten about. Now of course this is something that is subjective, so you may use every single attack that I have here. So again, it's just something that's subjective, and just these are some of the attacks that I've pretty much forgotten about. But if you do have any moveset theme suggestions for yourself, please leave them in the comments, and the best ones will be used for future videos. And of course, if you do enjoy these videos and you think they deserve it, please leave a like. So like I just said, this is a very subjective moveset, but I did decide to go for Super Saiyan because, I mean, it's ironic because it's probably the most popular transformation in the game, but I use Super Saiyan just for the utility more than anything. I haven't used Super God since the Xenoverse 1 network tests back in late 2014, so it's been a while. Counterburst was released for DLC Pack 3 in Xenoverse 1, and I do know not many people, compared to how many people bought the game, actually purchased the third DLC pack, so it is a very forgotten attack, and it is pretty useless if I'm being completely honest. All it does, if your opponent hits you with a basic key attack or a key super, if you use it at the right time, all you do is you absorb the attack and send it back to them. It kind of feels like they put it in Xenoverse 1 to try and counter spam, hence the name Counterburst, I don't know. But it is a very terrible attack if I'm being completely honest. Blue Hurricane and Paralysis, because Blue Hurricane was used quite a lot in Xenoverse 1 because of how strong it was, and because it got a massive nerf in Xenoverse 2, and Paralysis because, I mean, even in Xenoverse 1 you just rarely saw it used online. So going into the first fight, my opponent running Super Key Explosion and Reverse Mega Senko, so he should be a key user, but he did charge up right in front of me at the start of the fight, so I did break his guard there, but he did recover pretty fast. He's also running Dragon Burn, so that's going on to be a bit annoying if I let it be. But he did use it in a situation that he just really didn't need to use it in. Unless his plan, I mean again, he just used it right there, so he has pretty much no stamina now. Unless his plan was to trap me in it and then to use Super Key Explosion, because he does have 4 bars of key. It takes 3 bars of key to use, so he'll only be able to maintain for 1 bar, which wouldn't be too long, but maybe a few seconds if that. But yeah, he's a very interesting player. But it does suck for me because I'm running the Special Beam Blast Evasive, so if he hits me with Reverse Mega Senko, I'm screwed. But he turns Super Saiyan 3 here, which is a bit strange because, I mean, like I just said, he's a key player. But I did break his guard and I hit him with the Paralysis, and then I immediately followed up with the Blue Hurricane, and I used that there thinking, well, he's either going to just completely take the damage and not want to waste any of his stamina, or he'll use his evasive twice and waste his stamina in order to protect his health. I'd prefer that he did use his evasive, which he did, because now he's got pretty much no stamina. Granted, neither do I, and that's even more so now that he's broken my guard by using the triangle stamina break. But he kind of glitched out there when he went for the Super Key Explosion and he sent me back, and I just didn't take any damage. So now I've pretty much got a free stamina reset. I unblocked here to try and get the timing right so I'll get the perfect block on his next hit. Completely failed, but I did vanish. He went for the back here, that broke his guard, so now I've pretty much, I've beaten him at this point. Or have I? We'll wait and see. I did try and go for the Volleyball Fist because it's one of the stupidest and most fun attacks in the game. He went for the Dragon Burn to counter it, then broke my guard. So now I was thinking, okay, damn it, he's kicking my ass. I may actually be in trouble here. He went for the Omega Blaster there, or whatever it was called, I can't remember. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'll turn Super Saiyan 3 because I need as many advantages as possible. We have roughly the same amount of health. Granted, I do have more key and stamina than he does, but if he beats me, then my key and stamina will be, you know, there's just no point in having him if he's going to beat me. So I do turn Super Saiyan 3 to get like the damage bonus and to just really try and play more competitively. He went for the Reverse Mega Senko there, and I went for the Special Beam Blast to try and trick him, thinking he wasn't going to expect it. I can't remember if he did hit him or not, but I do manage to dig down and get the win there. And given how fun that fight was, I do decide to give him a few more fights, and we'll see what happens as we go into the second fight for this video, and the second fight against this player. So I do decide to pick one of the city stages, and I wish they made every single map so that you start off near your opponent. I hate the fact that there's like a long distance, like why? There's no point, especially in online PvP. Like, just why? I get a very early perfect block off there, and I do believe he's running the same build, and honestly, Dragon Burn with Super Key Explosion, especially if you have max key, it's devastating, it really is. I mean, fair play though. Here I make a very amateur mistake, I think. I hit him when he went for the Reverse Mega Senko. Like, I knew it was coming, but I still hit him, so mistake on my end. And I used the evasive as well, so I just waited 3 bars of stamina there. So I'm thinking, okay, 40 seconds, less than 40 seconds in, and again, he's kicking my ass. Like, he really is beating me now. So I have max ki. I think I go for Super Saiyan 3 as soon as, but I don't want to do it right now because I do want to create some distance, because if I use Super Saiyan 1, 2 or 3, preferably 3, and he has at least 1 bar of stamina, he can go for the homing dash and break my guard, or if he's right next to me, he can use the heavy smash and again they'll break my guard. So I do need to time it here, so I transform when there's enough distance between us all so that he won't be able to break my guard, because I really do think the key to winning this fight against this guy and all the fights I do have against him is to have a lot of stamina and to maintain my stamina and manage it properly. So just as I'm making a bit of a comeback against him, he goes for a second or a third reverse Memikyu Senko, and right now I have no health, and I actually do have no health now because it hit me with the gigantic Omega. I have to admit though, I thought that was a very fun fight. There were some things that he was doing that I saw from a mile off, but I was just making very amateur mistakes. So because of that, I do give him a third fight, and considering it's 1-1, we need to see what happens. Like, I have to win this, so going into the third fight, we will see what happens. Going into the third fight, again, he's picked the same preset. I'm not too bothered about which super attacks he has, because he doesn't really tend to use Super Saiyan. I think he's running Big Bang Kamehameha, so if he goes to Super Saiyan 3 and use the Warp Big Bang Kamehameha, that could be trouble. I don't think my counter burst would actually do anything against that. I'm not too sure, I've not tested it. But my biggest concern is the Dragon Burn and Super Ki Explosion combination, because like I've already said, it's devastating, it really is. So it sends me flying back here and he goes for the Blaster Shell. And I've just realised I've been calling it the Gigantic Omega throughout the entire fight, so my bad. But I do go for Super Saiyan 3 here because again, I need to use it. The only downside to this is that I pretty much have no ki recovery, so I do need to really focus on my basic melee skills here. I get him in a combo here as he goes for a Blaster Shell. He vanishes and I use the triangle stamina break. I dash up to him, get him in a bit of a combo, and like I've already said in the first or second fight, I honestly do believe that the way to beat this guy is just maintaining my stamina. Granted, you could say that about everyone, but with this guy specifically, I think that's really going to be how I'm going to win here. So I use his Dragon Burn, I go for my evasive, then I went for the Turtle style Last Resort, which I used to think this was the Moveset in Xenoverse 1. Like, I got mixed up with the Moveset and the actual attack, which is what Master Roshi used on Great Ape Goku in the World Tournament in Dragon Ball. And just in case anyone doesn't know, the Moveset is, in the dub, the evil containment wave. So right now, I'm just really waiting and trying to find an opening to go for the Hilarities and the Blue Hurricane combination. Thankfully, he just broke his own stamina there. I think that was by accident, but I go for the basic heavy combo here, then immediately follow up with the Blue Hurricane. I don't use the paralysis here, but that's going to be enough to finish that guy off, and I think that was a very, very, very fitting and a very nice ending to the series of fights with him. But with that being said, let's move on to the fourth and final fight for this video. There's one thing I really don't like about Xenoverse 2, well, there's a few things, but one thing I really don't like is if you play with limitations on in playing matches, you can't change the time. It's 3 minutes. And you'll see why in this fight, why it's crap, it's terrible. I don't know why we can't have it to at least 5 minutes. I mean, that'll be perfect. You can't use capsules in no limitations, so 5 minutes will be more than enough time to finish off a fight. But going into this fight, I don't really play as a female in Xenoverse 1 or 2. I don't actually think I've ever made a female character, like not even for like testing stuff, like I have no interest. Going forward I will, because I do have a few characters I want to make, but I don't know if this player is a Saiyan or an Earthling. So with that being said, I don't know if they're going to use Super Saiyan, Potential Unleashed, Kaioken. Doubtful it's going to be Kaioken, so I'm not really expecting that, or the Power Pole Pro. So I just don't know. Sorry, the Volleyball Fist is a really amazing attack, but like I was saying, I just don't know what this player is running. Plus, I checked their ultimates to start with, and she has the Time Skip Molotov and the Final Flash. So because she's running a Ki and a Strike ultimate, I just can't tell what she is, like I just don't know. But I did go for the Stamina Break, and she went for the Time Skip there, and I completely blocked it and tanked it with the Super Guard, which is probably the only times in Xenoverse 2 Super Guard will be useful for me. It'll be interesting to see if I do actually use it and it's useful in future videos. So if I do use it, let me know, because I just think that'll be a bit funny. But she did break my guard when I went for the paralysis, so that sucks for me. I think I drop out of Super Saiyan 2 in a moment, because with this moveset, it's not necessarily based around ki, but you could play it that way. But I do want to get as much ki as possible, because I do know there's a very nice combination you can do with the paralysis and the Blue Hurricane. And if you do actually hit it, it will do a ton of damage, it really does. And depending on which evasive your opponent has, they'll have to keep using that to protect themselves, or they'll just get completely destroyed by the Blue Hurricane. So if they have something like the super explosive wave as a evasive, then it's going to suck for them because they'll have to take the full damage of the blue hurricane. But that being said, my opponent's guard is still broken, so she can't vanish or guard or use her evasive, but she still did, you know, she was able to avoid the blue hurricane. So I'm not sure if female Saiyans or female humans have, you know, like faster speed. I just don't know. I just don't play as them, so I just have no idea. But there is about 42 seconds left to the fight, and like we're both still alive, and we both have decently high health, I would say. I mean, yes, I have a lot of health, and she doesn't really, so I mean, there is that. But I mean, it is coming to an end. Like, there's 30 seconds left now, so I do need to start, you know, wrapping things up. So I do decide to go for a stamina reset, thinking, well, I know I can get the super guard off to protect myself, and if I get my stamina recharged properly, I should then be able to just, you know, go all out. At this point, I'm pretty convinced that I've won, because if she goes for the time skip or even a final flash, I think I should be able to tank it with my evasive, even though that would be extremely inefficient. But I did decide to go for the paralysis there, thinking she wouldn't expect it and it would hit, but it didn't. But she did try and break my guard, and I used my evasive, the special beam blast, and I would have won anyway, even if that didn't connect, but it almost did finish her off. And I hate that this fight ended in a, you know, a timeout. They really should have the option so that playing matches with limitations can be 5 minutes long. The fact that they're not, it's just a bit stupid in my opinion. With that being said, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.